Hello everyone, this is Rod. Getting this opportunity to do my desert island. It's probably a one-off, so I've been a bit perfectionist about it. Yeah, very difficult to choose a few songs because songs and hymns and music, because music plays such a huge part in my life and always has done. But I'm having a go at it. Starting off, Sam has pinched what would have been my first choice, which is Praise My Soul, the King of Heaven. So I've had to think of an alternative, and I've come up with For the Beauty of the Earth, which is another well-known hymn song written back in 1835 to 1917. The writer was Folliot Sanford Pierpoint, For the Beauty of the Earth. This setting is by John Rutter, who I've grown to. I love his music. It's you don't need a degree in music to enjoy it or even to sing it. So it's quite a different arrangement from the one we normally know. But I think it's a great hymn because it traces. It's a hymn of thankfulness, and it goes through much of what I mean. My sense of worship comes when I'm not in church. When I'm in the open, by the sea, by a river, perhaps on top of one of the northern fells, which has been a great experience. But the writer takes you through a series of things. I'm sure you all know the words, but he ends up with saying, "For each perfect gift of thine, to our race so freely given, graces human and divine, flowers of earth and buds of heaven, Christ our God, to thee we raise this our sacrifice of praise." Okay, my second song is a song called Trees. It's sung by a black American bass singer, very well known, very popular bass singer in the 30s and 40s. This man's singing was quite common in our home. My son Dave it was part of his upbringing to hear Paul Robeson singing. This poem then, a song called Trees, and it's really saying that a tree is like a poem, but it's a poem written by God in a sense. He says men can try and write poems, but only God can make a tree. Yeah, so it's really saying how we just pass by what is familiar. I've just picked a dandelion. This dandelion, if it was a rare plant, a rare alpine plant, people would climb to the tops of mountains to see it, but it's just an everyday thing. If we look at it closely, the colour in it's not just yellow, it's amazing. This is a song called Always on My Mind, which was made popular by Elvis Presley, but I like the version by Willie Nelson. It's a kind of confession really, and what's that got to do with worship? But when we come into God's presence to worship him, we become aware of our unworthiness, I suppose. So this is a secular song, a totally secular song, but it's confessing that our love doesn't come up to scratch so often, and perhaps when we're before God we need to think about that. I was raised in the Sally Army, and we used to sing some pretty old songs, and one of them was a song called Pull for the Shore, which is about, I suppose, about lifeboat men really, but it's kind of a metaphor for aiming for something, for striving, not giving up. Churchillian, never give up, never give up. Pull for the shore, the song says. It's very popular with lifeboat men even in these days, and this is sung by a group of fishermen, I think, from Port Isaac in Cornwall. I'll let it speak for itself. Pull for the shore, sailor, pull for the shore. In my Father's house are many mansions, Jesus said. This is a setting of John 14 verse 2. It's sung by a Dutch choir. They're singing in English, thankfully for us. I love this. I play it very frequently on YouTube. I love its orchestration. I love the youthfulness of the singing, the liveliness of the singing. And I find it extremely reassuring, especially in these times when we're trying to make sense of our lives, to have the promise, the assurance that we will have a dwelling place with God. We will have a special place set aside for us in the home of God. It is well with my soul. That's still sung today. It's an oldie, but it speaks of perhaps the need for a reassurance that even as frail as we are, we can at times be safe enough, feel safe enough to say it is well with my soul. There's a sea link with this song as well, because it was written by a man who'd lost, I believe he'd lost his 4 daughters in the sinking of a ship, but he was able to send a message back to his wife. Yeah. Yeah, I hope you enjoy these songs. Some of them are a bit unusual and not exactly hymns, but I hope they make you think a little bit. It's been a pleasure.